Long live the heroic working class of the Soviet land. Hooray! We were brought up in the spirit of, so to speak, communism, although not all of us were fervent patriots. Our grandmother had lived through the repressions. She was a native Muscovite, and she was exiled from Moscow to Novosibirsk. That was right after the war. She was a more religious person, and we constantly saw that. And Kostya valued our grandmother much more, let's say, than our parents.
Тому, на которого он оказывается, человек начинает думать, как от этого всего избавиться. А как избавиться? Значит, я в чем-то несовершенный, и я хочу стать совершенным, чтобы избегать таких казусов, которые, значит, случаются в трудности. Он очень хотел поменять свою жизнь. Вот так.
There were two magazines in Soviet times where you could find some interesting, out-of-the-ordinary information, different from the propaganda of socialism, the building of communism, and the other ideological trash that existed then. They were the magazine Physical Culture and Sport, and the magazine Science and Religion. And in one of the magazines, I think Physical Culture and Sport, if my memory doesn't fail me, I think a friend of mine showed me some article on yoga. It interested me, and I showed it to Kostya. He got very seriously into it, and we began very intensively both to do physical exercises and to study various kinds of, well, spiritual, so to speak, literature. All of it was being processed in his mind, and he drew completely independent conclusions. Very interesting and, in my view, useful. For example, he very quickly saw the common ground, what unites, let's say, all religions. With Kostya, in my view, there was such a phenomenon that is called an expansion of consciousness, which can be considered the first stages of enlightenment. The opening of consciousness is when a person understands briefly, certain things that are hidden from ordinary consciousness. Sometime around 1988 or 1989, there was an opportunity to organize something. And there, an older friend suggested to us that we could organize a yoga club. We held on to that strongly since yoga was what we had been doing and working out thoroughly. Because he felt that he had knowledge that others did not have, he wanted to teach this knowledge. That is, he wanted to be a teacher, someone who had knowledge. This was a very strong inner motivation for him, that this knowledge would greatly help a person to improve their lives and in a more comfortable direction for themselves. My brother understood quickly enough that when you want to make someone happy, you yourself become happier. That is, there is this kind of connection, how to put it, like connected containers or something. There were also methods of hatha yoga and advanced stages of yoga, and there were some kind of nearly magical practices.
И я скажу так, что я встречал одного человека, но это уже позже, где-то во второй половине 90-х было, молодого парня, который сказал, что прочитав одно из произведений известных моего брата, сказал, что оно ему перевернуло сознание.
In the early 2000s or in the late 1990s, 1999, they tried to bring charges under a law article related to harm caused by organizing religious activity. They wanted to prosecute him under that article. But they couldn't find anything. That is, they couldn't. but there was a strong desire to put him in prison because it was believed that he was causing harm to the government. And one of his interesting conclusions was, this has stuck in my head to this day, what he said about the influence of, let's say, government structures. His statement is roughly expressed as, the state wants to make cowards and fools out of people, putting it simply. At first, it was said that we were living wrongly, that we needed to build a different future, and that this future would come with communism.
В результате этого сна началась революция. Одни люди стали убивать других людей. Это выгодно правительству, чтобы все стали такими героями, умирающими за правительство, умирающими за какую-нибудь лживую идеологию.
As far as I know, well, I don't know whether it was then or a little later, the Russian Orthodox Church began to get involved in opposing these emerging organizations. They also tried to find something forbidden among them in order to try to shut them down in some way, because our church, which existed officially, began to feel that it was losing influence in the spiritual sphere. As for the drugs, I know this for sure, the drugs were planted. My brother is no fool at all, knowing that he is, how to put it, under unofficial surveillance to be carrying some little baggie in your trousers somewhere, or to keep a bag in a drawer. Well, that's the height of idiocy, which my brother is, of course, completely incapable of.